I think humans are better with AI. Like AI assisted humans are more powerful than humans alone and AI alone.
I think the grind is still there, AI or not, and it's just we're kind of made believe that overnight success is possible now just because a couple of machines are running and doing something for you.
I ever knew what the next step was. I don't. And I feel like this whole path, like even before AI, is kind of just like being put out in the middle of the wilderness, and you have to be able to find your way by navigating what you see in like the environment. Regardless, like I think it just opened our eyes to like what could be done, and just this idea of sort of like one central place that has access to so much of our stuff, and we can talk to it through here. And like I could go on a walk and talk through Slack to my little bot and like be building my app or do all kinds of stuff. And it's really scary but cool.
Hey there, welcome to Sounds Good. Good to see you here, Mac.
Hi Anna, thanks for having me. Nice to see you.
Yeah, finally. I'm, huffy and puffy because it's the morning. I feel like I should stop the morning episodes. It doesn't look good on YouTube, but but yeah,
Well,
great that you're here. And I was just telling you how we spoke maybe a month ago about recording this, and things have been happening. I mean, things are moving really fast right now in SaaS, and it's really fascinating and a little um scary too. But like you said just before, if you hear somebody say they know what's going on, you call bullshit, and 100% agree.
yeah.
What do you feel? How do you feel about the bubble?
I think it's a good exercise in getting comfortable with uncertainty, which is what life is. But it's like it's real, like it's heavy. It's moving so fast. I mean, there's always change, but like you're saying, it's going so fast, and every day is
Mm,
different. And so, yeah, is it a bubble? I don't know. Yeah, something's happening. But
yeah.
uh, yeah, I mean, I could go a million different directions with this. I feel like overall, it's sort of it's been a positive for us and
Mm,
just kind of fun. But where it'll end up, I don't know. And then, of course, there's all the things that are sort of outside of business and like what AI, bigger picture AI stuff of where that could go, and that's a
mm.
whole other ball of wax. So,
Yeah. I mean,
yeah.
I'll be honest with you. Like, I I've known you, like Twitter known you for a while, right? Pretty much ever since I joined this SaaS world, and you were always to me that person that talks about, okay, this thing work and this is how you do things. So it's more or less like what's going on. You have the playbook, and I thought it will be so interesting to talk about this with someone who kind of always knew what the next step should be.
Yeah.
So with AI, or at least, that's my perception.
Yeah, I don't know where you
Uh,
get that.
no playbooks anymore. No, nothing works. No old, instructions for how this should be.
It's funny that you say this, and I don't know. I'm curious. It's actually fascinating. I don't feel like I ever knew what the next step was. I don't, and I feel like this whole path, like even before AI, is kind of just like being put out in the middle of the wilderness, and you have to be able to find your way by navigating what you see in like the environment. And so I think in that sense, like nothing's changed in business overall over many years. There's like different variables and new factors, new things coming in. And I don't mean to oversimplify it, but also like I never had a playbook, and I'd be surprised. Like I know people say they have playbooks and there's certain like things that people do repeatedly but I would venture to say that that's probably like when that's the case, they're like, we find a business that fits these criteria and we know we can run this playbook because it's most likely to work. I don't think you can take a playbook and apply it to just anything. So I guess I would say like if I had some playbook, it's just being able to like think quickly on my toes and hear what people say and react to that and know how to filter what they're saying and adjust to that. I feel like there's a lot of intuition and art to that. And I feel like if you can do that, you can do a lot. Um, but
Yeah.
it's not like, oh, you go and you create a Twitter account and you tweet once a day, and then you go and you create SEO pages, and nothing like that.
Yeah, yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, what happened to good old work? Sometimes I talk to people who are just starting, especially, I don't want to say, younger or different generation. But anyway, um, the mindset kind of shifted to, oh, but now we have AI, now we have social media, and we can grow so fast. Why isn't it growing so fast? And you're like, yeah, but you've been like tweeting or doing this for 3 weeks. Like it's,
Mhm. Right,
you
right,
know,
right.
put some work in, right? I think the grind is still there, AI or not, and it's just we're kind of made believe that overnight success is possible now, just because a couple of machines are running and doing something for you. But that said, you guys still you joined Alex, and
Mhm.
now you went into more of a Holdco situation, which again very interesting to me because that's my background, and I've been hearing a lot more this past year that people are either going to create a Holdco or just did it, and they are buying instead of building.
Hmm.
And, I'm obviously puzzled because everyone says, hey, you can build anything now. So what's the bad there?
I find that interesting too. I mean, I will say that I would say I've shifted, and I think now, well, sorry, there's a lot of stuff here. A couple things. We're two people, and so we can really only focus heavily on one thing at a time. And so we try to build something up to a certain point, and then figure out how. I mean, we've had hired people in the past, but generally it's like see how big we can go on our own, how big we can get something, and once it feels stable enough, uh, then we can either get help or we free up some time. Um, but we've also like spread ourselves too thin in the past. But we also for a while were looking, at the things that we would buy. I mean, we've looked at buying all kinds of things, but what we were very interested in for a while, and this was like right before the AI thing got bigger, building with AI got bigger, was like these sort of graveyard SaaS apps where like these people are just building these things. They're all over the place. I know so many people with so many apps that they've built that are really cool and have a lot of potential, but they don't know what to do with them. And so that was kind of a big piece of what we were kind of looking at, and we bought a couple of them and done, grown them. Um, Now I do think that that's a bit different. I'm more hesitant to buy something that's early, that's that early, now, because a couple things. It is so fast to build them now, and also definitely in my experience, like uh, I mean, I guess I would also like a lot of the apps that might be on the market now are probably built with AI, but also I guess like I don't want to buy something that's really young and small that wasn't built with AI, because I find um the AI is better at building products that AI built, right? If that makes sense. So like uh
Yeah,
yeah.
it's interesting. I actually would think maybe in a way otherwise because, like you said, AI is super fast. But
Mhm.
like my experience, and I'm not a technical person, so take it with a large grain of salt. But my experience is that whenever you're working with AI, it just overcomplicates stuff so much, and it just gives you a lot of things. Like it's almost made to impress us. Like, oh my god, now I just tell it stuff and it gives me so much, and like it gives me hundreds of lines of code. But then, okay, how do you know what's inside? Like, do you actually have the capacity or again tools on top of that to go and challenge what's been made? So I don't know. And in a way, I'm a teensy bit skeptical about the tools that have been um, built with AI. And in this case, I think I need to also maybe explain this one just a teeny bit because build with AI, not like you had cursor. help you, or Copilot or whatever it is you're using. I mean, the lovables
Sure.
and
Okay. Yeah, yeah.
whatnot. Yeah.
Different beast.
Yeah.
So I mean, I think there's two parts. I think the first one is like, just as if you have one person code an app and hand it to another person to continue coding it, it's going to be different. They're built with different brains, different ways of thinking. And so I think that's like the first way to think about, well, AI might have a harder time with a huge code base that was built by somebody that thinks differently. Not that, yeah. Um, but and then um, yeah, it's true that, like, yes, a lovable. We actually bought an app that was built with Lovable or one of these things. And I had to rebuild it completely because it was, I mean, for a bunch of reasons. But part of that, yeah, like me, I would say you're like a developer building with AI is very different than a non-developer building with AI. Very different thing. And so, yes, AI builds a lot of things that I probably don't need, but it can also build a lot of things that it's good I have and wouldn't have otherwise built. Tests, for example, like lots and lots of tests, which I'd never wrote tests before. And
Yeah.
but there's also no, as someone who's built apps without AI, I know the things to look for, and I'm not even talking about like getting into the code itself, but like to clean up after itself and to do security passes and to write tests and to do all these things that my mom isn't going to know to do. And so at some point it's going to quickly fall apart and then it's going to be unrecoverable. So
Yeah. Absolutely. That is a great point. Like, for example, I'm building now with my co-founder, and like I said, I'm not a technical person. I have an idea. I know how I want this to look and feel, and kind of the flow I want it to have. But what you just said, I have very little idea what it means. So, that I'm so glad that there is a person to look at, whatever prototype I'm able to put out there. But that's what I want to ask you, because you said you bought this one of the tools like that, and then you had to rebuild it. So with Wildfront, you're buying, sorry, fairly early stage startups. Um, is it essentially buying distribution? So do you buy when, okay, there is some kind of a community? Because I feel like that's your story, right? There is Twitter, there is building in public, there is all the social media activity that you have. Is that the bet?
yeah, or just like skipping. Well, there's a few things. One is that I like even just looking at what's for sale because it gives us like sights into the world that we didn't know existed. And so like one of, or would just never think about, right? And so like one of the things that we bought is like it was marketed as a Slack backup viewer, right? So it's as simple as that. And we just thought we were just like, there's something interesting about this. We just had a hunch. And so we got it. And it was really just a way to sort of bypass validation because the person who owned it before was like really good at getting like off the ground, but like not much farther than that often, or was like really good at that stage. And we're like, there's something interesting here. Like, so when we got it, yeah, it was like there were however many hundreds of email addresses in there and some signups and some good SEO. And so we were like, there's a good foundation here. This is kind of a bet. It was just kind of a gamble. And it wasn't a lot of money, but it was like, so we got it and looked at it and we looked through it and found that there were some huge companies in there, some like big email addresses, and that they were using it for like legal reasons. And so it opened up this whole new world. So we changed all the marketing and we added billing and did all these things. So yeah, I mean, I guess sort of the long-winded way of trying to answer your question of like, yeah, it's normally just like some hole into the world that we didn't know about, and it feels like it's helping us skip some sort of validation. And um, like in that case, I had no problem rebuilding it because I was like, you know,
Mm,
this thing got us. It proved what we needed to prove, and so now I can quickly kind of rebuild it. It wasn't that big in the first place, but yeah, it was like the brand and just some good SEO and an idea and a bunch of email addresses that we could immediately contact and talk to.
yeah. That's a great one. But yeah, what I kept thinking about it when you were describing the tool, you know how most of, or okay, I'm generalizing, but a lot of the stories of like very successful tools start with, okay, I had this problem and I started solving it for myself. So
Mhm.
that's that thing with the Slack tool doesn't seem like this that kind of story.
No,
So
it's not.
yeah, walk me through this. Okay, I will just take something that's available and make it mine. So like I know we said there are no playbooks, but what are the the sensible first steps to take to validate the idea, especially now,
Uh, well, I
or
mean, you're hitting on
validate
a
it for
couple.
yourself even.
Yeah, you're hitting on a couple interesting things. And one is that you're totally right. And when we bought that, like we literally have a list of sort of criteria of things we look for. We're never going to hit them all. So sometimes we just are experimenting. We're like, let's just try something different. And so that's what that was. We're like, we know nothing about this space really. And it's not that even that fun for us, to be honest. But we were like, let's just see it, see what we can do. I don't know. There's something about it. And so sometimes it's just a gut thing. It's just like, let's just see, which may or may not be a great idea, but we had the resources to experiment a little bit. Um, and one of the things we learned with that was like, we really like we're still growing it. We do put some time into it, but it's not a focus because it's not that fun for us. I mean, it's I don't mind it, but like there are other things that we work on that are much more fun. So we're like, let's put more energy into those. But as far as like validating, I mean, with I guess it depends what state. Most often, it's just talking to people. So like with that, it was I quickly got on. Well, started with through email, getting some of those people to get on the phone with me, and those were incredibly insightful. Like that was how we realized that people were trying to use this thing not for what it was messaged as or marketed for, but something totally different. And it was like we were able to go from $9 a year, I don't even know what, something just ridiculously low, to $500 a month, like literally within 48 hours, and people were signing up. And so those calls, like you would never know that without the calls. So that's how it's
Yeah,
certainly definitely talking to people. I mean, there's a bunch of ways we can do it,
yeah,
but that's my favorite.
yeah, that's true. How were people finding it in the first place if that's not how it was advertised?
They would find it because the keywords were like close enough, or like, that's just how I mean, they found it through SEO. Um, and yeah, I think there's just like
Yeah,
enough overlap in the keywords that it came up.
yeah, I feel like it's funny because SEO is never portrayed as a quick win. But I think it's still so relevant right now. And, yes, talk about AEO, GEO, whatever you were calling it. But I think still good old SEO is something you have to nail.
Mhm.
Like we um launched this first tool that we produced just, I don't know, 4 days ago. And today, just before our call, I checked and it's the first one on Google. Like
Nice.
when you
Yes.
search for that thing,
Yeah.
it's first. And I was like, okay, well, we did something
It's
right
amazing.
here.
Yeah.
It worked. So yes, I don't know. I'm not a guru here, but yes, please
It's still
invest into
incredibly
SEO.
Yeah, I mean, it's incredibly valuable, and, SEO and AEO, I mean, they're not that it's more or less the same thing. Like, if you have really good SEO, you're also very likely to show up in the AI stuff. Um,
Yeah.
a quick little side, like, I was at MicroConf recently, it was in Portland, and there was this guy who I won't mention him, but I saw him last year at MicroConf, and he was like, his company is doing millions a year, but he was kind of like, yeah, I don't know, I'm just kind of riding it out. Like, it's just growth isn't, things are fine, but it's just not growing. And then this year, he's like glowing. He's like, everything is just going up because all of a sudden these AI searches came up, and they're all recommending him across the
Hmm.
board. And it's not because he did anything specific for AI search; it's because he already had great SEO over the years and built a great brand and great reviews and
Yeah.
was highly, so it's all very overlapping. And while it is sort of a long game, it's also quick, as you saw. Like you got
Yeah, it's crazy.
first and overnight, and
I
so
was
you can
very
get,
surprised.
yeah.
I was
I
like,
hope you
"Yeah,
stay
it's
there.
not gonna be there, but, yeah, let's just see." And it was there, and it was like, "Wait a second, what?"
Amazing. I
Very
hope you
cool.
can keep it. Yeah.
Yes, yes, fingers crossed. But are you doing anything different? Okay, so, well, I think since we landed here, um, everyone wants to be in AI search, right? Everyone wants to
Yeah.
be recommended, and we were talking a lot about it with other founders, and some are excited about it, right? Especially like those who, like you said, invested in brand heavily, invested in SEO, a bit. Older brands that have an opportunity to affect it in a way that, okay, it will be one of those three that ChatGPT recommends. Others who are very skeptical about it, and they're like, okay, we basically lost here, and we don't know
Mm.
how to do it. So where do you stand? Are you more positive about AI search, and how, because the AI visibility tools are like everyone's raving about them. My question is, how do you use it? Okay, I know where I stand. That's pretty obvious. But how do I work on this? How do I change anything?
Yeah, we haven't used the tools, but we can see that we're getting X amount of traffic from them. And so I still think a lot of it's the same. I mean, or even like the same but changing. Just like SEO has always sort of changed over time, and there's a version of that. I mean, these sort of best of listicle things still can get you into like ChatGPT really fast if it's the right thing. Those types of things, and I think reviews and all that, becoming even more important. Um, so honestly, no, I mean, not really. We're not doing anything like significantly different for AI search than just regular search.
All
Maybe we
right.
should, but
Okay.
we're like
May-
we're getting. I mean, I don't know. I'm sure we're not like the first recommendation for all the things we want to be. That's for sure. But we definitely get traffic from them.
Okay, so you're not hung up on going to Claude and trying to like figure out,
No,
okay, all the
no,
all the
no,
questions people could ask about you.
no. Maybe
All
we
right.
could a little bit more, but
Yeah.
that doesn't mean that we don't pay a lot of attention to SEO and put a lot of effort into it.
Yeah.
I just and again,
Absolutely.
I just think we our bet and sort of feeling is that it's similar enough to like if we stick with those kind of practices that
Yeah.
it pays off. So
Absolutely. Like I know a founder who sold his company, and the tool, um how do I put it nicely? It looked outdated. Like but it was doing the thing. Like everything about it was giving mm, early 90s.
hmm
So,
yeah,
but people loved it because it was very niche, and it was for this specific audience, and they needed nothing else but for it to work.
yeah.
And after he sold the company, he went to build something else, and I was like, okay, what are you doing differently? World is a different place now. And he said, nothing. I do nothing different.
Yep.
Nothing, absolutely. It's still a very tiny niche. It's still, you won't believe it. He went back to that look. I don't know, maybe for nostalgic reasons, but he's like, it works. I invest in SEO. I invest in product heavily, but I do nothing else.
I think that is the best validation for anything because the reality is people are buying things to solve a problem, usually like in this case. And so if it's easy enough to use and it works, like look at Craigslist. I go to Craigslist every time I'm like, this product needs to be beautiful. And then like Craigslist is intuitive. It's not beautiful, but and it doesn't need to be. It doesn't.
No.
And they haven't changed that in, I mean, at least not noticeably in 25 years or whatever it's been.
Oh god, I remember the first time I saw Craigslist. It was giving me very dodgy vibes. I don't
Oh, yeah,
know,
yeah.
I think I've never been there since. It's been, like, over 10 years.
Looks the same. Doesn't miss anything.
It it spooked me just for
Yeah.
life. But, I wanna go back to what you were telling me about this new thing that you're building, and it's on Slack, right? Or it's Slack dependent. And let's be honest, third party dependency is not a very
Yeah.
nice thing to have, right? You had Aware, and unfortunately, you had to shut it down because of LinkedIn. And just was it 2 weeks ago, very recently,
Oh,
that Shield announced that they're closing as well. And I think, I mean, it must have stunned. I think you made a post about it. So, but I mean, with LinkedIn, I'm honestly not surprised. It's a bit like Excel. People hate it and want to make it a bit more user friendly. So the win is there, but we've seen it times and times again that LinkedIn does what it does. So now entering Slack universe, are you at all what sur-
yeah. Uh, mm,
thinking about this? Yeah,
well, this is another reason why it's nice to have multiple things. So that one is not the majority of our focus at this point. I mean, yeah, it's like 5-10% of our time or something. Um, but I mean, to your point. Well, we aren't currently breaking any terms of service. Shield what? Well, I'm not going to say Shield, but there's a reason. There must be some reason that they, were shutting down. The same way Aware was breaking the terms of service, or there was something that they didn't like, and there's a reason why they shut us down. That is not currently the case at all with the Slack tool. Um, I could talk for half an hour about why I don't think there's any risk, but the reality is there's always people, they can say whatever they want. And
yeah.
certainly I'm not going to go fight Microsoft on this, right? Like, so I don't know. I don't
Somebody
think it's
should.
yeah, yeah. It's not going to be me. It's not that I don't have any sense that it's like imminent that we're going to get some letter. No, it's not. It's not. There's nothing wrong at all with what we're doing. But even yes, like it's still. I'm just like I hate having that dependency. It feels very different and better. Like I don't have a with Aware. There's always this underlying thing of like, oh god, another one got shut. Oh geez, this sucks. Like how can we figure out how to make this like get someone up at LinkedIn to talk to us so that we can just make sure that everything's cool? But we couldn't. Um, anyway, so I don't have that with the Slack tool. We are also building now. It's like a content production tool with scheduling across platforms and all this, and it's using everything it uses is legitimate APIs and all this stuff. But still, like, yeah, any of them could. Like, I think Twitter recently stopped. They turned off the API for making comments. I think, which I think is more about like bots and like trying to get. There's just too much spamming going on. So like for these other reasons that have nothing to do with us, similar things could happen with any of the APIs. So I'm always thinking about like, well, you know, not in like a paranoid way at this point. Like it's not like we're doing something wrong, but still I am aware that anything can happen. But I also realize like with so many things, like it's hard to come up with anything that doesn't have any dependency where something can go wrong, So I don't know. I
Yeah,
try not to worry about it too much, but yeah, like I don't want to go. I want to keep everything, of course, above board and ideally build
yeah.
relationships with the companies when possible. It's hard to do with these guys, but so yeah,
What
I
do
mean
you
it's
think is your safest bet so far in the portfolio?
um I think probably the one I'm referring to now, which is called Demandbird. It's a content production and scheduling tool. I think the reason being that like the scheduling is a piece of it, and now it's a little bit of a heavy piece of it. But I like the vision of it is like even without the scheduling, the content production part is very valuable, or at least hopefully soon. The goal for it is to be incredibly valuable. And so I like to think that before long it'll be at the point where even if all that stuff had to drop off, which I think is very dramatic and unrealistic, um, but if that were to happen, it's still a very valuable tool for um, content and content creation and things like this.
Yeah. All right. So, like I told you before we started recording, like it seems like in the last months, um, this whole SaaS apocalypse craze is kind of winding down as well.
Yeah.
But still, okay. So what is changing, like with the demand bird, with everything else? People are saying product is cheap, distribution is a bottleneck, but at the same time, pay attention to the product because you don't know what AI is going to build for you. And then distribution, everyone can do this because there are so many tools, so many channels. You can apparently rank on Google in 4 days. So, out of all this noise, what do you believe in and what works for you?
I will not deny having moments of like freaking out or waking up in the middle of the night and like, what the fuck is going on? But most of the time, I can come back to like feeling grounded and like everything is okay. And uh, as someone who has been able to build products, has been building products for 20 years or something, like the building the products was never the difficult part for me. And I know how hard all the other parts are. It's not even just like it's everything from like, I mean, people get lucky and just throw something out and it goes, but most of the time it's not that. It's you have to talk to people and you have to listen to them and filter what they say and then incorporate that and no, not build too much, but there's so much to it that yes, things are different, but I don't think fundamentally it's that different. Uh, Sounds dumb. It is different, but it's like not that different, right? Like it's still not that easy. If I've been doing this 20 years and I still don't think it's easy, uh, so you know, I also there's a couple of things I try to like find like some other way to relate this to like something else that's happened. And for a while, I used to think about
Mm,
like in hindsight, if you're just to like flip back, being able to see all that happened with Amazon, if you were to be like, holy shit, like this company's going to come along and you will be able to buy anything at the click of a button and it will be at your door in 2 hours. And all you could just be like, all brick and mortar places are just going to be gone. You won't need them anymore. That's not, yes, things changed, but it also made new opportunities. A lot of other small businesses and businesses can sell online easier and make businesses online. And I know there's a lot of problems with Amazon and all this stuff, but like putting that aside for a
mm,
second, um, it we still have brick and mortar stores. We can still go. And then the other one I've been thinking about lately is music and how whatever 20 years ago or something like GarageBand came out and made it very easy to make anyone can make music. And then there's Spotify and Apple Music. Now anyone can put out their music. Anyone like if you have a song up there, I could go find it. But the reality is like you still need eyeballs and attention. And that is the hardest part. There's so much music out there that no one knows about. And it's probably
yes.
amazing. It's probably amazing. But if these people, if they don't know how to, and it's not just about having a big record label anymore. That's not what it's about. It's about, I mean, I've got kids. I've got a teen and a 12-year-old, and all the music that they find out about is from TikTok. I mean, it's crazy. Like, it's not about. I mean, when I was a kid, it was like MTV or the radio or something, and now it's just social media.
Yeah.
Um, so anyway, yeah, I think fundamentally it's a lot of the same
True.
problems. Like it's yeah, there's you could say there's more competition and certain things are easier, but
Mm. We were talking with my boyfriend about the fact that, when we were growing up, like how did we know about everything in the world, right? Like I had girl teen magazines. And I knew, what to wear and what boys to like and what music to listen to. And it's not like we were, in a bubble or somewhere in a silo where there was no information. There was a ton of information, and I'm still the person that grew up without the internet. Even though I'm 34, but I grew up in Russia, so internet was not really a thing. And we were thinking like it's just changing. It's different ways to feed the information to people, but it's not fundamentally changing. So when I talk to people who are all in AI, everything is going to be AI, everything's going to be revolutionized. Retail is going to be agent to agent. I'm so skeptical about this because I think there are some fundamental things that are never going to change. Because, well, I really hope that we're smart enough to preserve some of the things. But yeah, it's just I'm always curious, like where do people stand? Are they more positive about AI or it's
Yeah.
all doom?
I mean, yeah, there's all this other stuff about AI that you're starting to touch on that I'm
Mm,
very resistant to and fearful of.
mhm.
Even just like, there's much bigger apocalyptic things, but just like these like AI influencer accounts and things like that. Like that is just
Oh,
crazy. But like that's going to be probably normalized before too long, and that's like a whole other that stuff is just. And then I mean, and I'm being like building products on social media, seeing that like it's not social media anymore. It's bot media, or like there's this. It's almost like we need two different things now. There's like social media that is only people actually communicating, and then there's like bots communicating. I don't want to be engaging with a bot, and I don't want
yeah.
my bot engaging on. This stuff is very strange, and I don't know where all that's going to go.
Yes. That's true. Like that it's so true. When somebody comments on your post on LinkedIn, you take a few seconds to like, okay, let's reread this. Does
Yeah.
this look like AI? Do I have to respond?
Yeah. Yeah. And
So
now
bizarre.
it's like for a while it was just so bad that like it was really obvious. Now it's more like I don't know that it'll ever get like really convincing. We'll see. But now it is at the point where like I don't know what I couldn't even tell you what it is about that, but it feels like there's something about it that makes
Mhm.
me think it's AI, and that's just like this weird zone. And I feel like such a sucker if I'm like replying to some bot message that no
Yep.
human is on the other side of.
But that's okay. That's again my question. Like, if we are interacting with bots and if everything is okay, feeding into some system like OpenClaw, whatever, that you use to optimize your life, or do we still get a chance to get to the real person? Like, is that what it's coming to? So basically, we'll have a bunch of bots helping us to live our lives, and then they will feed us this kind of a mm, piece of what we prompted them to think is important.
Yeah.
Some post-apocalyptic thoughts here, but yeah, it's so fascinating.
It's it's funny as you're talking, I'm like, because the tool that we're building, like our whole stance is like not like I think mm, I think humans are better with AI. Like AI
Mm,
assisted humans are more powerful than humans alone and AI alone. And that is sort of the philosophy I take with this tool that I'm building. It's like content. It's like I want it to be in your voice, and I want it to be your ideas, and I want it to be stuff that ultimately came from you. I just want to help you tell it. I want to help you tell it. So I want to help you tell it
mm.
maybe better or like in more places, but I still want it to be you, you know? Um, but it is really interesting because like where is the line between like that is my thought. Like it came from me, but it came like through this machine and was like massaged. and I will still stand behind it, but it didn't actually come from me. And so if this
Mm,
bot that like knows everything about me and my personality, my beliefs, and my history is talking on behalf of me, like it could be fully accurate, but I might have no idea that's going on. And where is the line that like that's okay?
yeah.
Because like I said, if I write it to you and you respond, like that's one thing. If my bot writes it to you and you respond and I don't see it, like that's just not cool. I don't
Yeah,
like
that's true. I think that's what I'm lacking. So when you said when you read something, you just feel like, okay, maybe there's something's off. So I feel what AI tools, especially those that help us write something or communicate, they're lacking context. So, for
mm,
example, for this episode, right? I was doing my research and I like to do it myself. Like I swear to God, I still crawl everyone's LinkedIn and your last episodes and whatnot. But I do use then AI to analyze it. And I always try to kind of like bring something else there. And that part is the hardest part because, like, for example, I had to remember that you guys had a weir and it got shut down. And then I saw the shield shutting down. So I
yeah.
had to connect that
Mhm.
context. And then
Yeah.
I had to connect context from, microconf and what we had in our email. So
Mhm.
for me, that part of this kind of like mind map and connecting all the dots, that's what's missing because then you're like, okay, what, you know, it's either lacking context or it's lacking, the tone or it's lacking, some inside uh, information. I don't know. It's
Yeah. Something
something's missing.
personal that you can
Yeah.
feel.
Yeah. All right.
Yes.
Well, okay. I want to ask you because it's we have a lot of bets on what works or what is going to work. What do you think, at least for you and what you're building, what doesn't work anymore?
Hmm. Um, Jeez. I mean, I feel like there's for a while, like you could build like very small sort of utility things, that I don't think, those things I think just like Claude or anything that you can just ask it to do. Um, I don't think I don't think it's nearly as easy to like just throw something out there and get lucky, or you might be able to, but there's so much noise now. There's so much noise and competition. Um, so I think you just really have to know how to break through the noise. And it's I look back, I mean, I've been following like the Basecamp guys since 2006 or whenever they came out, and I look back at that whole period of when I was like trying to figure out how to do this and how to make money off of something online, and like I look back and like, God, it would be so easy to go back and like knowing what I know now, go back. It'd be so easy, but that's why I often have like a thought experiment where I like try to look 5 years ahead and like look back, like what's gonna feel really easy then. So I don't know. Uh, doesn't work. Yeah. Uh, yeah. I don't know. I like to think that just like this bot, like the AI driven everything isn't gonna work, but it's working for some people. So yeah.
Right? Yes. That's okay. That's one thing that maybe I'm thankful for in AI world. And God, I hate myself for saying AI world because it's such a bubble. Like in here in Asia, it's it's very little of it. Like
Mm,
there's so few people that tried that or think that it's the future, especially in business because everything is relationship based. That I hate saying that, but anyway, what I'm thankful for is that now there is so much information about everything. Like people started doing things faster and trying things faster. And maybe, that's also a problem because then you don't really get to a point of validation. So you want the validation also to happen faster. But I think there are so many experiments that we finally get to the point of understanding that some things work for some people and some things don't.
Yeah.
You know, the playbook is a bad word. Like I was always hating on this, but yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's so many variables and timing. There's been, great things that just had terrible
Mm,
timing, and, uh, there's so many factors to it. I mean, to answer your question, what won't work anymore, I'm gonna answer this in a
mm,
in sort of in the way that I think, like, I'm curious to see if before too long, I I wonder if, like, going to your machine and logging into an app and going in and all through the UI for certain things, where it's like it takes a lot of what feels like, well, it will feel like effort to have, like, gone in and gone this whole path to get to the thing you want, instead of just, like, having everything move to here and just, like, be able to ask it. Like, OpenClaw, like, cracked this for everybody, like, "Oh, I see." It's like this feasible world where, like, there's this hub that has all my information, and so I don't think we're gonna necessarily go, like, fully there, but it does give us insight into, like, wow, maybe this whole, like, clunky interface thing for certain things is not quite necessary. So, anyway, I don't know.
yeah. Interesting. I'm still very, very, very skeptical about OpenClaw, and I I'm curious what's happening with it because since Peter Steinberger joined OpenAI, basically the whole uh, big boom of OpenClaw, everything just stopped
Mhm.
on social media and YouTube and everything. So I wonder what's going on with it and if they're still mm, happy to kind of fully back it up, it being, you know, maybe a little too risky for the common uh, people, you know, who
Yeah.
don't know security, like me.
Yeah, yeah, I messed around with it. I have it downstairs on a Mac Mini, and I was able to
Okay.
do some very cool things with it. I think ultimately, yeah, I did find myself sort of paranoid and, like, going and running a lot of, like, security stuff but also, like, it wasn't super reliable for me. Like, I had to do some cool stuff, but it would break a lot. I'd find myself having to sort of, like, maintain it a lot, and,
Mm,
but regardless, like, I think it just opened our eyes to, like, what
yeah.
could be done, and just this idea of sort of, like, one central place that has access to so much of our stuff, and we can talk to it through here, and, like, I could go on a walk and talk through Slack to my little bot and, like, be building my app and or do all kinds of stuff, and it's really scary but cool.
Mm,
So while I don't know that it's, like, fully there yet, and definitely security issues, but again, just open our eyes to, like, "Huh, this is, like, there's something here," and so I'm certainly considering all that with what we build now of just being able to interact with it on the go. I mean, I
hmm
do a lot of my think ideas come to me when I'm out walking, and so I don't wanna be staring at my phone, but I wanna be able to, like, get something down, and so, just these, like, simple fluid ways of interacting with the things that we need to interact with. I think it's an interesting
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. I just, you know, my only concern is security. Like I would
It's scary, yeah.
my question is like, would you give it to your mom? If the
Oh,
answer is
dude,
no,
I don't know.
probably not.
I was hesitant to give it to myself because,
Right?
it's
Yes. What do your kids, by the way, think about AI? Do they already have a stance?
oh, man, stance. No, I don't know. That's a good question. I'm gonna go ask him after this, but, like, they think it's cool. Like, one of them uses
Yeah,
ChatGPT all the time. Um, I don't know that they've, like, used it for much. Well, hopefully, they're not using it for school. I don't know that they use it for much other than just, like, asking it questions.
they
They haven't
probably
really
do.
built much or anything. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, I don't know if I think the response is gonna be like, "It's really cool, you can do cool stuff with it," but again, they're mostly doing text interaction with it, not necessarily, like, building anything crazy,
Mm.
but I'll report
Yeah,
back
I
to
was
you.
just talking to a founder in Germany yesterday, and he said basically people are so skeptical that they're like petitioning against it because they're so afraid that it's taking the
Mm,
jobs and it's bad for the
mm.
climate. And you know I mean, Germany is very active with their opinions. So yeah, I know quite a few founders who told me, yeah, their kids hate it.
Mine are 12 and 14, so, um, they're not super conscious about, like, the whole job, like, all and I've tossed out little things to them about that, but I also don't wanna, like, freak them. I don't know, I haven't
Mhm.
talked to them about it in, like, a "you're screwed" kind of way. Or, like, "What are you gonna do for work?"
Yeah.
Like, everything's changing, but,
Yeah.
so, yeah, I don't know, like, on a sort of bigger
Yeah. My
scale, but
7-year-old has a very biased um, view on AI. So on one hand, he uses it a lot to create his own Pokemon cards, and he thinks it's
cool.
incredible.
Yeah.
But on the other hand, I built this little kind of homeschooling app for him. And one of the things it does, it sends you to so MIT has an AI program for kids, and it's free, and you can just go there and learn about AI, and you can teach AI. So they explain AI, but you have to go and train AI. And he goes, "Oh, can
Wow.
we just go and train AI? It's so dumb. I feel like they need us." And I'm like, "Yes, they do.
Oh, man,
They
yeah,
do, little dude."
that's
But
awesome.
yeah, it's
That's
funny,
really
very
cool.
funny.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I only have one more question for you, and it can be AI, or it can be something that we're all missing. Can be some little thing. But what is the latest thing that made you really excited on the internet?
Hmm, it's a great question.
Can be a tool, a newsletter, anything. Show.
Hmm, I'm stumped. Um,
Yeah.
wow. Maybe the internet's not, like, exciting me very much.
No. Flip it and go. Okay, we don't.
Yeah.
We're not. What are we doing here? Yeah, for me, it's for a while. It's been Pirate Wires. It's this newsletter that I absolutely love reading. Not even for mm, what what it highlights necessarily. Like sometimes it's because it's mostly also U.S. news,
Hmm,
and I mean, let's face it, I'm not very much interested, but it's just the way they write it. I feel like it's so, to quote ChatGPT, refreshing, crazy,
that's cool.
and yeah.
I'll have to check that out because one of the things that I have been, like, I am much happier and healthier when I don't read the news, but I also wanna have
Mm,
some sense of what's going on, and I am in the US, so I
yeah,
have been exploring, like, different, there's a couple things that are just, like, just bite-sized news, uh, snippets in the morning, just, like, give me just
yeah,
enough without, like, changing my mood for the day.
yeah. It's super short, and it's like this super snappy and very opinionated pieces. And like, oh, okay, because on LinkedIn, everywhere in social media, everything has to be like very politically correct.
Yeah,
And this is just some fresh air.
it's great. Yeah,
So yeah,
I've been trying to close my laptop and read some fiction and check out that way, so
that's a good one too. That's a good one. The last book I picked up was, I believe it's called Born to Run. And it's about this Mexican tribe that is basically everyone is a runner.
is that the barefoot
Uh,
runner
no, that's a
people?
different one.
Or they're wearing no? I'm trying to remember which one that was. I feel like I read it. But there's one it's not the people who have, like, these, like, leather thin sandals that they run for, like
No.
50 miles in.
Okay, it is Born to Run. Wait a second. It's 350 on Amazon. You should pick it up. Christopher McDougall. Hidden Tribe, Super Athletes, and the Greatest Race the World Has Never Seen. That's the book.
Interesting.
I just started, but
Okay.
it's pretty cool.
That
So
sounds
yeah,
awesome.
that's my exciting stuff from the internet. All right. Well, thank you so much, Mac. I mean, it's I feel like it's been a very fluid kind of episode where we didn't know what to do, but yet nobody does. So it's good to have your opinion.
Cool. Well, thank you. It's nice of you to have
Thank
me.
you. Yeah, absolutely. All right, and take care.
You too.